JJ Starling is back for Syracuse, and the timing for this could not be any more perfect.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer. Thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, the number one sports podcasting network. It's your team every day. And of course, we're always free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on tonight's mini podcast, thank you so much for joining me here. It's a late night here on Monday, November 17th. We got a couple of injury updates for Syracuse basketball, one positive, one negative. Let's get right to it. Per Syracuse.com's Mike Waters, JJ Starling will return to Syracuse basketball's lineup tomorrow night against Monmouth. Obviously, this is a big deal. This is huge news, and we're going to break it down in just a moment. The other piece of information is that, unfortunately, Tyler Betsey, who was injured in the Drexel game in the first half, he will not play tomorrow night against Monmouth. We hope it's not serious. We hope that in a week from now, he can go when Syracuse needs all hands on deck when they take on Houston and then Kansas and then a third team in that Vegas era tournament. But let's get to JJ Starling. He has not played since the season opener for Syracuse. That was against Binghamton. He played a grand total of about 3 minutes before he injured his right hamstring. Now, the obvious take here would be, hey, getting back JJ Starling is huge because he's a really good player. Last year, he averaged nearly 18 points per game. I understand it was not a very good Syracuse team last year, but wasn't necessarily JJ Starling's fault that the rest of the team around him wasn't very good. JJ did all he could. And yeah, he has his limitations, but he still averaged 18 points a game last year. You would prefer to have him in the lineup. So that's the obvious. He's a really good player. You want him in the lineup. He's coming back for Tuesday against Monmouth, which is tomorrow. Great. But what I'm really excited about is that this Syracuse team can really start to build chemistry with themselves. I know it's weird to say that because Syracuse in these first 3 games, they look like they've played together for 3-4 years already. They look like they've grown up together and that they seemingly understand exactly where everyone needs to be. There's been really no chemistry problems in any of these regular season games. But you are bringing back in JJ Starling, and you do have to figure out how you are going to integrate him into this lineup. So you still got to build the chemistry. And like I said, they're going to Vegas in a week when they play real teams where the real season is going to begin. Obviously, if JJ Starling could not play tomorrow night against Monmouth and that he needed to rest so that he could be ready for Vegas, that's totally fine. We'd all be very happy if JJ Starling would just be back for Vegas. But the most ideal scenario is what we're getting right now, which is that JJ Starling will have one game against Monmouth, and the whole team will have one game against Monmouth to figure out how to play together. So that's how I look at this. It's one thing to say JJ Starling is a really good player. It's another thing to say that JJ Starling is a really good scorer. But what's really important here is that this team now can include JJ Starling in the rotation, build up some chemistry for one game against Monmouth before the real season begins, which is in a week from now when Syracuse goes to Vegas and they play Houston and they play Kansas and probably another team that's going to be pretty good out there. Syracuse has one game with JJ Starling in the lineup to build up some chemistry. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Your thoughts on how JJ Starling can impact Syracuse basketball. And coming up, we'll talk about what Syracuse's lineup could look like, what it'll probably look like, and how I would do it next on Locked On Syracuse. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. College football is in the final month of the regular season, and I couldn't be more excited about it. You got the tailgates, the rivalries, energy in the stands. There's nothing like it. But let's be real for a moment. Actually getting tickets for these games can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. You got endless queues, you got hidden fees, you got the prices just magically jumping at the checkout. I don't get it. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you are going to pay. And honestly, with Game Time, it's faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I bought tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. What should Syracuse's lineup look like now that J.J. Starling will be back in the rotation for tomorrow night's game against Monmouth? And hey, feel free to comment your thoughts in the comment section below right now, how you would do it. And for this exercise, I'm going to give you my opinion, what I would do. And then I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. Okay? Let's start off with my idea. And I've said it before here on Locked On Syracuse, but hey, you may be a new viewer, you may be a new listener, or you just didn't catch the podcast where I said it, and that is totally okay. That's why I'm doing it right now. My idea, Nait George, that's an obvious one, starting point guard. I would have J.J. Starling as the starting shooting guard. I would have Kiyan Anthony be the starting small forward. Then you have Donnie Freeman at the 4, William Kyle at the 5. The reason why I would do it this way is because J.J. Starling, I think, is best in the starting lineup. He has been a starter all throughout his Syracuse tenure. He is someone that could easily lead this team in scoring when he is healthy. And I do think that Syracuse really does need his scoring in the lineup, because when they go on those droughts at times, when they're not scoring a ton, that's the guy you can give the ball to and say, go get me a bucket. And I hope that he's going to buy in with this team defensively as well, because they've been playing terrific defensively. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, I would have him in the starting lineup. I think that is the best role for J.J. Starling. And then I would have Kiyan Anthony at the 3, simply because he's playing amazing, and I think he deserves a starting spot. He's been awesome. He's averaging, 17, 18 points a game, shooting a ridiculous percentage from the field. I have no complaints about Kiyan Anthony so far. I don't think anyone's complaining about Kiyan Anthony so far. And then I would have Nate Kingz come off the bench. The deal with Nate Kingz is this. He can contribute in other areas of the game, but his primary responsibility, the reason why he was really brought to Syracuse, is because he is an elite shooter. And so far, granted, it's only been 3 games, so I'm not pushing the panic button, he has not shot the ball particularly well. And so perhaps, because he's not shooting well, one way to be able to maybe wake him up or maybe put him in a different role is to have him come off the bench and be the 6th man. So that's my idea. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below. What I think is going to happen to Syracuse's lineup now with JJ back in it is that Nait George will be the point guard, JJ Starling's going to be the shooting guard, but Nate Kingz is probably going to start at the 3 instead of Kiyan Anthony. You're going to have Donnie Freeman at the 4 and William Kyle at the 5. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and complain if Syracuse decides to run with the lineup I think they are going to run with, because at the end of the day, you're allowed to have really good players come off the bench. Syracuse fans, we all know very well that Dion Waiters, who was a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, did not start a single game when he was at Syracuse. Not one. Not one start for Dion Waiters. Doesn't that seem really weird? A guy who went top 5 in his draft year did not start one game. That's right. You're allowed to have good players off the bench. And so if Kiyan Anthony is that player this year that has to come off the bench, you know what? If he's okay with it, I'm going to assume the team is going to be okay with it. If that's the best thing for the team, that's the best thing for the team, and I support it. It's not what I would personally do because I think Kiyan in the starting lineup, he needs a ton of minutes because he's playing fantastic. But overall, you're allowed to have really good players come off the bench. So comment your thoughts in the comment section below how you would do this lineup for Syracuse basketball tomorrow with JJ Starling back in the lineup. Now coming up on Locked On Syracuse, we got plenty of more content coming your way. I do want to do a mini podcast tomorrow again for you all. I do like mini podcasts here on Locked On Syracuse. It's a good change of pace. And it's about Syracuse football, their quarterback situation. Again, starting Joe Filardi. Don't get it, but whatever. And also the fact that both coordinators for Syracuse football will be back next season, according to head coach Fran Brown. So we could have a mini podcast about it, but I'm also very busy, so we'll see if I can get to it. What I can guarantee is that tomorrow night, there will be a full post-game reaction podcast after Syracuse basketball takes on Monmouth. So stay tuned for that. So folks, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoy the podcast, be sure to hit subscribe. Tell all your friends about Locked On Syracuse, and I will see you all again soon.